Los Angeles, United States. Tears in public usually invite sympathy. But when the one crying is Jungkook, a global icon known for his resilience and consistency, in the middle of an international airport, in the arms of fellow BTS member Jimin, the public wasn't just stunned. They also began to question what was really going on. Was this pure human emotion, or a sign of a much bigger turmoil within South Korea's entertainment industry? In seconds, the usually boisterous airport turned into a silent, tension-filled space. Jungkook, dressed in a black hoodie and medical mask, was seen quickly wiping his tears as he exited the VIP gate of Los Angeles International Airport. Beside him, Jimin simply looked down and placed his hand on the lead vocalist's back, as if trying to calm the emotional tremor that could no longer be contained. The incident was immediately captured by local media and international fan sites who had been waiting since early morning. Several eyewitnesses at the scene revealed that before the incident, Jungkook and Jimin had a serious conversation in the airport lounge. One operational staff member who wished to remain anonymous said the atmosphere was too quiet to be normal. There were no raised voices, no aggressive gestures, but Jungkook's expression seemed heavy, as if he was holding something far deeper than mere physical exhaustion from a 12-hour flight from Seoul. The incident immediately triggered a wave of speculation. Many linked it to long-standing internal issues surrounding the solo career paths of BTS members. In recent months, rumors have circulated that Jungkook and Jimin are undergoing private negotiations with major music labels in the United States. These negotiations, according to sources in Korea's entertainment industry, were being conducted without direct intervention from their agency, something rare in the tightly controlled structure of K-pop. These sources also added that internal pressure regarding artistic freedom and the expectations of the American market have made the emotional situation very complex. Their trip to the US was reportedly not just an ordinary work visit, but part of their involvement in a global-scale documentary project that will explore the lives of Korean idols after military service. In this project, Jungkook and Jimin are said to be two central figures, forming the main narrative of a story about life's transition after collective fame. However, the teary moment at the airport suggested something more personal and profound. An entertainment journalist present at the scene stated that a few seconds before Jungkook showed his sad expression, he received a notification on his phone. Whatever the content of that message was, it is believed to be the immediate trigger for his tears. This opens another dimension to the incident, that most likely, the tears were not the result of a strategy or marketing maneuver, but a release of accumulated psychological pressure. Amid this tension, Jimin's role stood out. Though he didn't cry, his constant presence by Jungkook's side, including his refusal to speak to the media and quick steps toward the private vehicle, indicated that he may have been aware of his groupmate's emotional condition from the start. Analysts view this dynamic not merely as interaction between members, but as a depiction of the complex professional and personal bonds built over more than a decade. Public response was divided. On one side, a wave of empathy flowed, with thousands of tweets and social media posts showing support for Jungkook and Jimin. On the other, some media observers began questioning whether the moment could be part of a strategic marketing narrative, especially amid speculation of a major project launch in the near future. That theory was refuted by emotional testimonies from fans who recalled Jungkook's statement in an interview a few months ago, where he said that the burden of public expectations often made him feel trapped. He admitted finding it hard to breathe under pressure to remain relevant, perfect, and never fail. This clearly reflects how Korea's entertainment industry shapes, and at the same time, pressures its idols to constantly be flawless public figures. A psychology expert from Seoul National University, Professor Hang Jang, stated that this incident is a symbol of humanity stripped by industry demands. In his interview, he mentioned that the pressure to always appear perfect, both in performance and image, creates deep internal tension. When individuals are not given space to release, then moments of emotional outburst, such as Jungkook's tears at the airport, can become an entry point for the public to realize something is wrong with the system. It didn't stop there. Several European media reports mentioned that Jungkook and Jimin's arrival in America was also tied to secret talks about cross-continental collaborations. One of the names mentioned is a renowned producer who has worked on major projects with Billie Eilish and The Weeknd. If this is accurate, Jungkook's position in the global music scene is becoming even more strategic and, at the same time, heavier, because he's not only carrying the BTS name but also the future of his solo career. But the biggest question still lingers. Why did this emotional expression have to happen in public, and why at that moment? Was it just a coincidence, or a sign that control over idols' emotional privacy is now completely lost? The lack of an official statement from those involved only widens the space for speculation. Many suspect that both Jungkook and Jimin are preparing a joint statement, possibly in the form of a video or live stream, to explain their career directions, and the context of BTS being on hiatus as a group since 2022. This development further strengthens the assumption that the members are now truly exploring their individual paths. But those solo journeys, though professionally promising, apparently come with greater emotional challenges than imagined, especially with the global spotlight constantly following their every move. One thing is certain: the moment at the airport has revealed wounds long hidden behind the scenes. It reminds us that behind the grand stage, promotional posters, and millions of followers, these idols are still ordinary human beings. They feel, they tire, and sometimes they cry. The public can only wait. Will this be the beginning of a major transformation in Jungkook and Jimin's careers? Or rather the start of deeper tensions within BTS? Time will tell. But one thing is clear: the world is now watching, and the world now cares. The emotional incident involving Jungkook and Jimin at Los Angeles International Airport has become a major subject of international public discussion in recent days. However, the fundamental question now arises: does this event truly reflect a real condition currently experienced by K-pop idols, or is it a narrative fabrication designed to generate waves of opinion and media spotlight? This is where we need to activate critical awareness as part of a society living amid an unstoppable stream of information. It must be emphasized that the information circulating so far comes from various secondary sources, including amateur TikTok videos, brief YouTube analyses, emotional Twitter posts, and cropped images from other digital media. Yet, no single independent source has been able to provide complete factual verification of the sequence of events. Thus, every public interpretation of Jungkook's tearful moment must be placed within the framework of this question: are we witnessing reality or being conditioned to believe a particular narrative? Unconfirmed publications open a very broad space for interpretation. On one hand, the moment can be seen as a very human and reasonable emotional outburst, especially given the extraordinary psychological pressure experienced by international artists. On the other hand, many parties question whether there is emotional manipulation in the presentation of that moment to the public. In modern entertainment industries, even sadness can be visualized as a marketing tool to build sympathy and emotional connection with audiences. Let us ask the basic questions that should frame the public's critical reflection. Are people today truly capable of distinguishing between authentic events and incidents strategically constructed? Do we still have the ability to assess the integrity of information amid the torrent of social media that prioritizes speed over accuracy? Even more, how can we be sure that the tearful moment at the airport wasn't part of a systematically designed promotional strategy? Remember, in the entertainment industry, emotional narratives are often used as tools to reinforce an artist's personal image, especially ahead of a major project launch. Haven't such moments often been followed by highly anticipated big announcements? Nevertheless, it is not fair to fully conclude that the event was purely fabricated. We must also acknowledge that K-pop idols like Jungkook and Jimin live under extraordinary pressure. They are required to constantly deliver peak performances, maintain flawless public images, and adapt to the ever-evolving expectations of the global market. In such a context, could spontaneous emotional expression in a public space actually be the only channel to release long-held psychological pressure? Here lies the major ethical dilemma in the entertainment industry. Does the public have the right to judge an artist's emotional reaction, especially when it happens in an open space? Or is the public unknowingly playing a role in emotional exploitation, merely by continuously consuming and sharing the private moments of public figures? Such questions should trigger broader discussions about media responsibility, public roles, and transparency in the global entertainment industry.